Welcome to another session of DRI. Today we're going to be teaching you how to use the image modification controls, and these are the controls where the cursor is moving now. Let's start with the first image modification control button here, which is the help files. If you click on the help files, something will happen that will be very helpful. Basically, you're going to get a help file which will show you how to use the program. When that help file comes up, there it is. It gives you step-by-step options. You can also bring this up by pressing the F1 key on your keyboard when the program's running. Like any help file, you can click on the subcategories and see how to deal with systemic and ocular disease, glaucoma, viewing glaucoma analysis. That's a very interesting part of the program, which shows you details of how you've done with glaucoma patients in a graphical analysis. How to document pathology. All sorts of information is available. All you got to do is read. Click on the plus sign here, and here are financial considerations. Why this program makes so much sense to use. I think you'll like this part a lot. Anyway, those are the help files, and that's what the first does. Then there's the About button. If you click on that, it tells you about the program, the license, the registration, the version you have, so you know whether you've had the latest update to the program. We can close it. Now we get to two important buttons here. These are right and left. If you click on the right button, it selects the right image here. The top image where the retina is shown here is always the right eye. The bottom is always the left eye. The top text box here is always the right. The bottom is always the left. And the text next to the photo corresponds to that photo. And when you type information into this box, it should explain what's in the photo. If you select the left button here, well, then you will see that the left eye is selected. I will show you how that works in just a moment. So at least you know that these boxes select the corresponding graphical displays of the retina on the left. Now we're going to talk about how to use the bottom row of buttons in the image modification controls. The first button you'll see here is an arrow button. If I hold my cursor over the arrow button, a hint comes up and says Tool for drag drop of retina images to display boxes. These are the display boxes of the retina images. The top is the right, the bottom is the left eye. So how would you use that? Well, let's press the button. We'll click on our list box, which I brought up by clicking Use Open Floating Listing. And I'm going to drag right eye image to the right eye box. There's the right eye image now displayed. Let's do that for the left eye. I'll select the image, and I'm going to drag and drop it to the left eye box. There's a left eye image. So that's what the drag and drop is accomplished with using the arrow tool. Now the magnifier tool next to it allows us to magnify the image. Let's look at that. I've clicked the magnifier image. You can see the cursor is changed to a magnifier when I hold it over the picture of the retina. And I'm going to press my left mouse button down and watch what happens. We've obviously magnified the image. To make the image smaller, what you're going to do is hold down the Shift key on your keyboard and again press down the left mouse button. Let's do that. Okay, so zoom in by holding your left button down of the mouse. Zoom out by holding the Shift key and pressing the left button. Let's magnify it again for a moment. Now I'm going to show you why you use the next button, which is the hand button. It says drag images to view parts cut off by viewport. Well, let's do that. Let's say you want to show a patient a certain part of the retina in detail, so you've magnified it. Now we just drag the image into place, and the patient can see the area you want, and you can print it like that if you wish. Okay, so that's what the hand cursor does. I'm going to zoom out now by holding down the Shift key. But it's not centered, is it? I could drag it back, or I can click on the arrow button and double click on the photo. It says center right image. I'm going to say yes. And now it's centered. If I can go back to the magnifier, I can now zoom out. And there you have it. And now we're going to talk about how to use the last button, which is the graphical editor. If you put your mouse over it, you'll see that it says open the image editor to edit, annotate, and select the retina image. Let's do that. We'll click the button. You see when you go over the photo that it changes to a paintbrush, not in the text area. So if I click now with my paintbrush cursor on the right image here, not the left, but the right up here, it'll say right image selected for editing. I say yes. If I say no, it'll open the left. If I say cancel, it'll do nothing. We're going to select yes. In just a moment, you'll see brush editor, which is part of Windows. Now we can scroll along using the blue scroll bars and find an area we're interested in. I had marked this previously, but I'll show you how I did that. To do that, I select a line. I want a thick line, and I want it to be, I think I'll make it blue this time, just so you'll see the difference. Now I'm going to select to use a ellipse, and if I want to highlight this particular blood vessel crossing, I just drag, and there it is. That's how you annotate. Now, to bring this edited image back to the DRI program, we select File, Save Changes, say yes. You do want to save your changes. And where are they? Well, let's take a look. We're going to select the hand cursor, and there they are. Okay, to center that image again, I can double click. If I select my arrow, and there you have it. So that's how you use the last of the image modification controls, and that's the one you'll use most often. That's it for this section on using image modification